And welcome back to the CSS podcast. I am your host, Dave, and the gentleman in the middle is Charlie Crawley. And the gentleman on my right, your left, is Sam Wolfers, my son. So, gentlemen, we've got a great show for everybody tonight. We are talking turkey. And, for the week that was, there's some turkeys in that, as well as our topic of the week. So sit back, relax, enjoy it. Remember to hit that like button. That helps us out a lot. And if you would be so kind to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and um, share it with your friends and family, especially those that are coming in for Thanksgiving this weekend. It's a good opportunity to them to listen to another podcast about their favorite scene in town here in Cincinnati. So, gentlemen, how was your week?
No, it's pretty good. Can't complain.
Yep, Bengals were off, so no complaining there.
Yep.
Yeah, my week was good. Looking forward to this upcoming week, Thanksgiving,
Short
my
week.
favorite holiday. Good food and stuff. So my son from the Air Force Academy will be in. So I'm looking forward to that. Getting everybody together, and so yeah, just a couple of days of work and then get out of there.
Yes, a couple days of work out. Daughter's coming in as well, so that'll be good to see her. She'll be able to take care of her puppy that I've been waking up at 3:30, 4:30 to let the puppy out every morning for about 2.5 weeks. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to her to come home and just to get together as a family. So that'll be nice. All right, moving on. We're going to jump to the week that was. It was a busy week, a lot of stuff happening here in the week that was. We're going to start with the basketball program here. We'll go to Xavier first, just because, probably nobody watched any of their games. They beat Siena, which, they took care of business. They're 5-0 now, heading in to their next two games. They got South Carolina Monday night here, so that should be a test for them a little bit. Don't know where they'll end up with that, but Sunday, December 1st, they'll have um, South Carolina State as well. But the next after that, then the real test starts happening. They'll play UC, and then they get right into the Big East. So, they open up with UConn. So, welcome to the Big East. Thoughts on Xavier's 5-0? What you're looking forward to here in the next week with them?
I guess 5-0 is 5-0, so you can't really say anything negative about it. I haven't watched any of their games, so I don't know, the style in which they're actually winning. But looking at the scores, it seems like they're winning pretty convincingly, especially against Siena. But that's I don't even know what conference they're in, type of school. So they're probably in like the MEAC or something. But
They might be in the MAC.
oh, the double A MAC, yeah.
Double A MAC, Mid Atlantic. Aren't they up
Or either that or the NEC or something.
NEC, Northeastern Coast? I don't know. Yeah, I thought they were in New York, Siena, but I could be wrong.
I think they are in New York, but who knows what conference they're in. But yeah, I guess you just rack up wins. You can't really complain too much, I guess, if you're Sean Miller. So they still have a new team, only 5 games in with essentially a whole new roster. It's going to take some time before they probably feel comfortable. So I think right now their main focus is probably just to get wins. That way they can stack as many wins before Big East play. I think that's probably the key.
Yeah, I I think they've played all home games. I don't think they've been on the road yet.
Was Wake Forest on the road?
I don't think so. I think that was at home. might have been a neutral site, but I thought it was at home. Um, but I don't know. All right, Bearcat basketball. Let's talk them. They're ranked. Had a nice win versus Georgia Tech, 81-58. I mean, they did handle Georgia Tech last year, so I don't know what that says, as far as was that a good win or is just Georgia Tech down from what we're used to seeing Georgia Tech be. I don't know. I don't follow Georgia Tech very very much. I didn't get a chance to watch the game at all, but they did beat NKU, took care of business there. Uh, Georgia Tech, like I said, 81-58. Up next, they got Alabama State and then Xavier. Thoughts on UC basketball?
Yeah, I think it's somewhat similar to Xavier from the standpoint of the schedule. I mean, the schedule hasn't really been daunting for either team. So, until they play some legitimate teams that, the Xavier will be each other. I assume will be there for both of theirs first most legitimate game. Except UC played. Did they play Villanova before that? I think they played Villanova. Oh, that's after Xavier. No, I think Villanova is before Xavier. Villanova is like December the 3rd or 4th, and Xavier is the 14th. So.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
And that's at Villanova. Now, Villanova, I don't know if they're any good or not, but they typically have been good. Georgia Tech's not good. They haven't been good for a long time. So,
I don't think
UC last year blew them out. So
Villanova's not ranked. I know that.
No. I don't know. I guess I'm still now that UC's where the level they're at, and Xavier's even the level they're at. I mean, I feel like they should be playing a little bit better non-conference schedules, both of them. I think UC's concern is playing the Big 12 schedule, but I see Houston playing Auburn, and these, they don't. I see Arizona playing. They just played like North Carolina or somebody. I think they.
Those might be the matchups that are, made for TV type matchups.
Yeah.
UC should get in a made for TV matchup then. So I don't know. I just they until they play a legitimate team, either one of them. I think it's hard to. I think they're both good. I said on this show that my prediction for UC is 15-5 in the Big 12. I mean, I'm all in for the basketball team. So, but until they get Dan Skillings back, until they play, legitimate team, then I think they're going to be really, really good.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, they're ranked. What are they ranked?
18th, but again, it doesn't matter anything.
No, it doesn't. But let me ask you this: if they had the same record and not in the Big 12, would they be ranked that high?
Like if they were still in the American?
Yeah.
And played that same schedule?
Yeah, the schedule.
No, they wouldn't have been that highly ranked coming into the season. So I mean that at this point in the year, the rankings are all based off of where you started. I mean, you don't see people enter the top 25 at this point in the year. It's kind of all generally the same teams, just kind of reshuffled a little bit until you get into conference play.
Unless somebody, surprises a highly ranked.
Sure, unless somebody goes on like a run at the Maui or something.
Right.
But I mean, UC's they haven't played in any of those tournaments. So I mean, if they're still in the American, they're not ranked to begin the season, so they're not ranked now. So I think it is partially a byproduct of being in the Big 12, but also I mean they've had some legitimate preseason hype. So I mean they have. That could still been possible in the American too. You don't know.
Well, I just brought that because it's going to tie us into UC football here. How it was chaos yesterday with a lot of teams losing, and how the Big Ten and the SEC bias. They're harping on three teams to get teams with three losses to get in. All those kind of things, and that's why I'm like, well, okay, if UC wasn't in a one of the best basketball conferences, if not the best basketball conference, would they be ranked. I was just seeing if you guys thought there was some bias there or not.
Yeah,
But,
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think they'd be ranked
okay.
if they were in the American. I think they'd be they'd be 28th. And Xavier kind of around there, aren't they? Others receiving votes kind of thing.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So UC, I'm guessing, would be in that ballpark or in that area.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, the
Go
Big
ahead.
12, even though I still think it's the best basketball conference, but I don't think they have the media bias. I still think the Big 10 and the ACC get the media bias as far as basketball is concerned. I don't think the Big 12 holds that standing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's, and I also don't think it's as the bias is not as, what do you want to call it, extreme in basketball
Yeah.
as it is in football.
Yeah.
Football is you got
Not
two
as important.
conferences, all the money is there, all the hype is there. You know,
Well,
basketball's the money isn't there. You know, you don't have the. I mean, basketball guys aren't getting millions of dollars, whatever, to play. So it's much more spread out. So I don't. Even if the Big 12 does have a bias for it, it's not nearly as
It also
centered
doesn't
as
matter with 68 teams making the tournament. So
right. 6-8 teams versus 12, and ESPN owning the rights to the
Right.
playoffs. So that's that's a lot of bias right there. But hey,
real quick, I pulled up Villanova's schedule. They're 3-4, and they lost to Columbia, so they're not any good.
they're not any good. So, but it will be a road test for them,
right.
And
It will be the third road game.
Yeah, but in a little friendlier confines, I guess, with Villanova. Okay, so let's talk about the Bearcats football. They got
We don't need to.
I was gonna say they got pounded
Yeah.
by Kansas State, blowed out 41-15. I mean, I watched some of the game. I mean, I was watching my daughter's game and then flipped it over to the UC game, and they got down early and couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything. And I know Kiner ended up with over 100 yards, but it took him a while.
He's been it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And Swordsby, I don't
he got
know.
140. Everybody else has regressed on the whole team.
Yeah,
There isn't another, maybe a few defensive players or something, but other than Kiner, you can't say there's anybody better today than they were 5 games ago. Playing better.
Yeah, I mean, Sorsby has not been good. I don't know. I mean, his turnovers are through the roof. I mean, he's not throwing for many yards. I don't know if it's a confidence thing with him now, play calling thing. I mean, the schedule really hasn't gotten tougher. I mean, the teams aren't any better, so I don't know. You can't really look at it that way. I mean, Kansas State just got embarrassed the week before, and then they came out and put a whooping on UC. So I think it kind of all falls back on Satterfield. I mean, you guys know my opinions about the guy already. So, I mean, I don't, they got off to a 5-2 start. So, I mean, I was like, okay, maybe he's got it figured out. But, I mean, they're sitting at 5-5 now, or 5-6 or whatever it is.
5-6, yeah.
5-6. And
4 straight losses.
To be 5-2 and finish 500 or even below 500 is, I mean, that's atrocious. You can't do that if you're in a big time program. And I mean, you're in a big time conference, so you got to act like you're a big time program now.
Yeah, they weren't. I mean, they weren't playing juggernauts either.
No, they weren't. I mean, you can't lose to West Virginia. West Virginia's not any good. Iowa State's the only decent team they lost to. I think Colorado's solid, but that's a winnable game. And I mean, Kansas State's not any good. And who's the other? Who's the fourth loss there?
That's who it was. Those 4.
Those 4, yeah.
I mean, I don't know Sorsby is just not. I don't know what's going on with him. He's missing throws that he was not missing in the first half of the season. That's just the bottom line. So whether it's a confidence thing or if the scheme has exposed him, like the defensive schemes, they figured it out or what, but and the UC coaching has not figured it out coming, in return. So don't know the answer. They played TCU this week. They need to win. I mean, getting a win and getting to even the Chinchilla Bowl, whatever they'll end up being, is better than nothing. So it'll be interesting. The season's over. who the heck is still on this team next year. And I mean, they're losing guys, some of their main guys that to the NFL, or they're just out of eligibility, like Kiner, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Once again, it's very much in turmoil moving forward.
I was going to say, if they make a bowl, how many will opt out?
Not a whole bunch.
Will opt out. You said transfer.
Yeah, transfers alone will put you at third, fourth stringers. So I mean, and if you're a fringe NFL guy, like someone like a Kiner, maybe you play to try and have one good game and help yourself going into the Senior Bowl. I don't know, but do you risk getting hurt too? That's the equation. I don't know now with NIL how guys are gonna approach that. They're gonna approach it. Well, I've made some money already, so I'll play in the bowl game, or if it's another reason to sit out. But I don't know. I mean, to be honest though, if you're 6-6, I don't care about your bowl game anyways. It doesn't mean anything to me. So
what?
The Birmingham Bowl, just I don't care.
The week after Christmas, all those bowl games sitting.
Oh, I love watching them, but
sitting there eating cheese and crackers and stuff.
I mean, I love watching them. They're entertaining, but from a fan perspective of a team that would be in one of those bowls, it's like I'm fine if I see guys that I've never seen play before get their first reps in the bowl. Like, I don't care if we win or lose,
Yep, I guess. Anything else? I mean, I know we have TCU next week. It is a nip at night game, 6 p.m. First one of the year, and senior night to boot. So I guess, like you said, the Horned Frogs, they're coming in 7-5 right now, I think, or.
Well, yeah, they've been playing better. They're on the opposite of UC. They've been playing better recently than you. Obviously, UC is not. So it'll be interesting. They throw the ball a lot, and that has not been UC's strength. Has been their pass defense. So we will see.
We will see.
I would not be putting money on UC.
And it's on ESPN Plus. So there's that as well. And UC is 0-4 night games this year.
Well, they've all been on the road.
They all been on the road, yes, to be fair, but they're still 0-4 night games. So we got to figure that out, boys. So yeah. All right. Really didn't think we'd have any Reds news, but lo and behold, a couple of days ago, ding, 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 Nick Kroll traded Jonathan India and Joey Weimer to the Kansas City Royals for Brady Singer.
Joey Weimer, we hardly knew you.
Yep, we hardly knew you. So, I mean, a lot of, I think for the most part, I mean, I was, on Twitter, X, and the Inquirer, just, some other sports sites, just trying to gauge the trade, right? And the fans' reactions and that. And for the most part, everybody kind of liked the trade. There hasn't been a lot of people saying it was a bad trade. Now, a lot of people are disappointed that Jonathan India is not a Red anymore because they liked, Captain America. They liked his leadership. They liked, his grit. What Cincinnati fans love about Reds baseball players. They may be mediocre, but man, if they hustle and play through injury and
that's a segue to my top 10. Actually,
so yeah, that's so that's the Reds. But this leads to a couple of questions for me to see if you guys can answer it. First of all, your thoughts on the trade, obviously, and then what's next for the Reds? Are they content with Espinal and Marte? Are they banking on Marte being the third baseman, or are they going to do something else there? And they still need an outfielder. So
right, that's the more important one. Espinal's the backup. He's your middle infielder backup. Marte or they're counting on either Marte or Candelario to be your third baseman, and you got and CS bouncing back to be your first baseman. And if not, if Marte's better, then he'd make him third. Candelario goes to first. If CS is bad again, whatever. So they've got some plug and play infield options. Outfield options, they don't have any of that. You know, Benson and Fraley are not the answer. Well, As I said in the texting, I hope one of them's not even on the team next year.
Right.
So AAA's fine, but you know, if they're running Fraley and Benson out on the 20-man or 26-man roster, and they could be the starters opening day, this team's not winning anything that we want them to win.
No, I think the trade is really good as long as Matt McLain stays healthy. Because I think if he gets injured again, have setbacks, stuff like that, then.
Well, I mean, you say that. I mean, if Ellie got injured, that wouldn't be good either. I mean,
no, it wouldn't be. But but you got Arroyo in the wing. You know,
but he's not ready.
No, he's not going to be ready.
He's not ready to face major league pitching.
Yeah.
No, he's not. But defensively, he's ready.
This year, you can say that about any injuries in terms, the main guys. They're not deep enough to have main guys injured.
No, but
they're not the Dodgers that can run on their B team out there and still win the World Series, which is basically what they did with their starting pitchers.
Right. I was just concerned because McLain has the injury bug, and Ellie hasn't. So that's why I didn't say. But we still have to worry about the bounce back from Marte, if that was all performance enhancement, or
he's been bad. That he's not very good in the Dominican League.
No, he's not against
that like 200
single A pitchers. So and then CES, will he bounce back? Is Candelario going to bounce back?
I mean, just keep naming it. Is Friedel going to bounce back? Is Steer going to be better?
I
mean, Ellie needs to be better.
Ellie needs to be better. You're right. He did get some votes, MVP voting, and Hunter Green did get $1 million bonus for finishing the top 10 of the Cy Young. So congratulations to those two guys. But thoughts on the trade and what's next for the Reds?
I mean, the trade straight up, I think it's one of those rare win-win, like both teams got what they needed out of it. I think the Reds like the starting pitching that they have, but they don't trust them to stay healthy, which, I mean, you can't. Green improved last year, but he still missed some starts. Lodolo is going to make 15 starts for you. That is what it is. Abbott runs out of gas at the end of the year. If you're going to be relying on Brett Lauder, he's probably not going to be able to finish a whole season. Ashcraft you don't know what you're going to get. Probably moving him to the bullpen anyways. So, I mean, you need that legitimate third. I think Singer's probably going to be penciled in to be the third guy, would be my guess, to start the season. So, I mean, you trade your, on paper, sixth best offensive player for third best pitcher. I mean, it's a fair trade. I think it leaves a hole at the top of our lineup. I think India was clearly the best leadoff hitter that we had on the roster. So I'll be interested to see what route they go, because I don't think if they go the Friedel route there that'll be a success. But we'll see. I mean, I would imagine Francona had some input on it. If he wanted India to still be there, he probably would. So I think he was fine with going with McLain at second, not shifting him to the outfield. Maybe they save some prospects trading for a starter, so maybe you can get an outfield bat if you don't think the money's there for a free agent signing. I guess that is encouraging. You did upgrade your pitching staff while saving prospects, which is, that's pretty good work. I'll give Crawl credit for that at least.
Crawl loves his prospects.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line is I hope they're not done, because if they're not done, if they're finished, then they haven't done enough. To put this team in the best possible position. They got to get an outfielder, whether it's trading some of these, prospects, which I've said many times, I'm totally for. Ship them all out for all I care. To get a legitimate outfielder. Are they going to spend $30 million a year on somebody? No, that's my biggest concern is the best guy. The guys that are difference makers are maybe asking for that kind of money. The Teoscar Hernandez, the Santander guys and stuff like that. It's because there's not that many at the top of the food chain when it comes to the free agent market. So the trade market may be better. They can, control the price a little bit more, and the Reds have prospects, both pitching and hitting, that I don't think not one of them is helping in 2025. So I have no problem with getting rid of any of them. So I hope they still have at least one big move left in them. And I'm in terms of the trade itself, I'm fine with it. I was never the biggest Jonathan India fan. He fits into my my top 10 list that I'll be talking about later. I'm never unhappy getting a legitimate starting pitcher, especially one that doesn't have an injury history.
Well, knock on wood, coming to Cincinnati, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
you know what's going to happen.
The medical staff will get in the way.
4 games in, he's going to
blow his elbow. Yeah,
they're going to say, "Uh-oh, shut him down." No, at first they're going to say, "Oh, it's day to day.
He's fine." Yeah,
we gotta wait till the swelling goes down. He'll be fine. And then
throws a bullpen.
Throws a bullpen session.
He's out for the year.
He's out for the year.
Very possible. We will not be surprised.
We will not be surprised.
No,
we will not be surprised at all. But welcome to Cincinnati, Mr. Singer. So hopefully you can maintain that health here in Great American Ballpark. All right, let's move on. Anything else you want to add, Sam, to the Reds?
I would just say, outfield bat. I've had 2 names kind of on my mind. I've mentioned them before. Brent Rooker from Oakland. Well, I guess now wherever they're playing now. I guess it's not Oakland. And Luis Robert from the White Sox. I think you could get either one of those. They can both play center field, or you can move either one to right field if you like Friedel in center. And power bats that you can plug in that 3 or 4 hole. I think those would be 2 good names.
Yeah, I like Rooker a lot. But
Carl's going to like Rooker because when they came here, he absolutely lit us up.
Oh, yeah, he did. But Oakland, at the trade deadline, they said they're not trading him. They weren't trading him. He's an Oakland A or a Las Vegas A.
Sure, and then you just throw one more prospect on there and tell John Fisher will give you $1 million and he'll give you anything you want. So
probably, yeah.
Tell him you'll help finance his stadium in Vegas, and he'll be all for it.
All
Tell
right.
him he'll buy a baby stock or whatever he owns.
Whatever. Yep. Okay. Let's move on to the Chargers game that the Bengals played here. They're off, obviously. They were off this week. So when they played the Chargers, they lost Sunday night, 34-27. Looked like crap in the first half. I went to bed, and lo and behold, they come roaring back. Bye week, changes needed to be made. I don't know what changes were made.
I don't think they made any changes.
Scheme
not personnel wise,
not personnel, but I don't know. Maybe they might have shifted some players around.
I highly doubt it.
I do too.
Highly doubt it.
Here's the thing. I don't think, the offense is not the issue. The offensive line can be the issue, but the offense itself is not the issue. You're scoring that many points is not the issue. So Zach Taylor is play calling.
I think it's more his decision making, less than his play calling.
Yeah, and I was getting to, the thing is, like, does Zach need one to fire coaches, just to send a message, and then should he give up the play calling and focus more on, hey, we have to get
management.
Yeah, the management, because there was that play. What was it that you need? Jamar Chase is out of the game.
Yeah.
And Zach is worried about the play call, and your best player is out the game when the game is pretty much on the line. that's where, as a head coach, you can say, look around, like, wait a minute, why isn't he out there? Call the timeout, blah blah blah. But as a play caller, you're trying to talk to the quarterback, and you're not focused enough on the personnel
On who's out there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I
mean,
don't know.
Mo Aker's been saying this for years, but the Bengals need a director of common sense. He's been lobbying for that
Yeah.
for that role. I mean, he says it tongue in cheek, but they do kind of need it, especially when you have a head coach who's also calling plays. I mean, like you said, he doesn't know the personnel. I mean, he should, but I don't think he knew the personnel on that play when Jamar Chase went to the sideline.
No.
I mean, I don't know how many times we have to say this, but field goals do not win games when you're the Bengals, when you have the Bengals defense. And this guy settled for field goals twice in the first half. The second one they kicked, they kind of had to. It was like 4th and 12 or whatever. But the first one, they were down in the red zone. It was 4th and 3, 4th and 4. You've got to get touchdowns. You just straight up have to get touchdowns. And then again, at the end of the game, we saw it. He's playing for a freaking field goal again. And it comes back and it bites him again. And I don't know how you can sit there and watch Joe Burrow come back from 21 points down on his back, make plays left and right. And then when it comes down to it, you go, I'm fine going down here trying to get a field goal with still 2 minutes left in the game or a minute left in the game or whatever. I don't understand the rationalization that he makes saying, that's fine, let's do it. Especially when you know how bad your defense is. It baffles me. And I don't understand how, after 4 years of this, he hasn't learned. It doesn't make any sense to me.
He's got faith in his team.
And you should never have faith in a kicker, ever. If you played football at the professional level or at a high level like Zach Taylor did, you should hate kickers with everything you have. I don't know why you would like a kicker.
Because you paid him $4 million a year.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you paid the kicker. Yeah, and you can't pay wide receivers. Yeah, you don't think Jamar Chase's comments were a little pointed there?
Mm-hmm. Crawley?
Yeah, I'm ready to pass on this one too, just like the UC football game. I mean, everything we've said, I mean, it's just a broken record.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing we can say that's different. I mean, part of why Zach Taylor can rely on field goals and do those kind of things is he's not going to be fired. He has job security no matter what happens. He could lose the rest of the games this year. He's not getting fired. Probably the whole coaching staff won't. Maybe they'll sub out the assistant special teams coach or something. That's not how they operate.
Cornerback coach.
In 50 years, they've never won a Super Bowl. But it just keep on doing the same old thing, and you get the same results. And now we're regressing, and Joe Burrow's getting the hell beat out of him. So, and Cincinnati fans better, if they start pissing and moaning when he starts doing the Carson Palmer thing in a few years, or the whatchamacallit, the Colts guy,
Andrew Luck.
The Andrew Luck thing in a couple years.
It might be more Andrew Luck because.
Well, either way, I don't want to hear one Bengal fan pissing and moaning about it.
Nope.
Because you deserve what you got, and you continue to, it's Mike Brownell and Duke Tobin and all these guys. They're not good. No, not good ownership, not good front office. Don't give me Chase and Burrow and these guys. They're draft picks. I mean, a freaking mule could have picked those guys. So drafting's been terrible for the last few years. The ownership we know is terrible. It's been terrible forever. So you're going to get what you get. Look at the bad ownership teams. The Jets, terrible. The Raiders, terrible. I mean, there is a very, very high correlation between bad ownership, bad front office, and bad teams on the field.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Commanders.
Like they were. Franchises were passed down from.
I mean, we're trying to think that the Bengals are gonna beat the Chiefs when you got Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes, and then their ownership group. No way. Not consistently. No way. The Steelers. No way. The Ravens. No way. I mean, it's not even guys on the field. It's the guys that aren't even. We're talking the decision makers. So Joe Burrow is like in a stream of. I mean, he's running against not just a stream. He's got a mad river rushing against him, trying to keep his face out of the water. So good luck to him. I'm still rooting for him. Rooting for the Bengals. But do I have any expectation of anything? No. Not anything good.
No.
This is
Here's,
what happens to
you know,
Bengals.
because if they don't sign Chase next year,
They'll sign him because the money will eventually talk, and they're going to give him what he, this big, massive amounts of money. They're going to get him, and then they won't. Then because that also gives them an excuse now why they won't sign any defensive players.
right?
They'll say, well, we got to work through the draft. We got to continue to work through the draft. We got to continue to develop because we can't spend any money on, a good cornerback or a good. I mean, what team, legitimate team? I'm not talking the Raiders here. What legitimate team, knowing that they're still in the race, does nothing over the course of the year to fix the defense? They still run Cam Taylor-Britt out there as their number one guy. There's guys out there they could go after. They could have traded for. They didn't do any of that. That tells you right there what the priority is of this team.
Well, I mean, they finally benched, Cam Taylor-Britt again. And DJ Turner actually played really well in the second half, and then he breaks his collarbone. Lo and behold, Cam Taylor-Britt's out there, and here they go, game-winning touchdown because he can't make a tackle.
He's our number one, though.
Yep. And, I mean, that's just brutal.
Yes,
and there's not a one off-season fix for this. There's not. I mean, we're looking at more of the same next year.
Because remember, you're not going to have T. Higgins next year either.
Yeah.
Right.
Granted, he's only there half the time anyway, but they're
Right,
still a better team. They're still a better offense when he's playing.
When he's out there, yeah.
And the guys, they've been hoping would replace him. Yoshi hasn't done it. Burton sure as hell is not going to do it.
I mean, he doesn't even know how to get to the stadium half the time. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
All he has to do is turn right from Hard Rock Casino. You might be able to find it.
Does he know his right from left? I don't know.
Don't know either. All right. Steelers coming up next Sunday, 1 p.m.
Worst case scenario, too, by the way. Worst case scenario that they lost to the Browns. Absolute worst case scenario.
But, I mean, they've lost to the Browns. Seems like they lose the Browns all the time, the Steelers, up in Cleveland anyhow, especially on a Thursday night game or a night game. I mean, that's the one stat that they talked about with the Steelers, Mike Tomlin losing all those Thursday night games. And it's just like, wow, it just, you would think that would be a Cincinnati Bengal trade, which it is, but
I mean, it kind of is. I can't remember the last time they won a Thursday night game. Is it the Dolphins?
Yeah, I think it was the Dolphins.
Or maybe the Jaguars in the Urban Meyer.
They did
when he was hitting on that girl at the bar or whatever. So
yeah, that's true. I think it might have been the Halloween game. One of the Halloween games. It might have been Miami, the Halloween game.
I think they ended up losing that game, if I remember right.
I thought they lost like 2 years or 4 years.
Because that was the game where Gio Bernard had just that amazing touchdown run. Now, I'm pretty sure they ended up losing that game in overtime. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but
either way,
they lose a lot. So Steelers coming in, they're going to be hungry. They're going to be pissed. Russell Wilson, who knows what you're going to get from him. Chris Boswell probably put 18 points up on his own, and we'll lose 18-15 because our kicker can't kick, 50-yarders anymore. And
you think the Bengals are going to hold the Steelers 18 points?
I think the Steelers can hold themselves to 18 points.
But they're still going to score more than 18 points.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And they're not, and their offense isn't very good.
No, it's not. But the defense is pretty good. So we'll see what.
Well, TJ Watt's ready. I mean, he's excited.
Oh yeah, Cody Ford is lining up. Oh yeah, he's going to be shifting his Chevy right around that Ford. All right, so predictions for next week. What do you got?
I think the Bengals will win because I don't think, one, that's just what they do. And two, I don't think the Steelers are very good. I think this is a facade. I think Mike Tomlin holds that team together, and he just will not let you have a lose. They will not have a losing record because of the way he is as a coach, and he gets them. They're always better than their talent, and their defense is pretty good. Yes, their defense is good and wins the games. But I mean, they're winning games with 6 field goals. The Bengals couldn't win a game with 6 field goals if the other team had 5 players on the field the whole time. So, that's just the way it is. But the Bengals will win, but it's the Steelers will probably score more than they normally do. So I'd say Bengals 27-24.
Sam?
The only prediction I have is George Pickens is going to try and start a fight, but there's not anybody on the Bengals defense that's going to actually be interested in fighting just because, that's not what they do.
No, Cam Taylor Britt might, because then he'll get kicked out. He won't actually play.
Well,
it might be his out.
I don't know. The way he runs after ball carriers, he's probably going to run away. But I don't see them. I don't see the Bengals winning this game. I'm going to go Steelers 24, Bengals 17.
Well, my prediction, as Clubber Lane said, pain. It's going to be painful to watch, I think, because either both offenses are going to be stuck in the mud, horrible, or it's going to be painful to watch T.J. Watt coming around the corners, sacking Burrow. And Burrow's going to have those happy feet, and he's going to get rid of the ball way too quick or try to get up in the pocket, spin around, do his thing, and, who knows? The thing I don't like is Jermaine Pratt opened his big old mouth earlier this week, guaranteeing a victory over the Steelers. He just needs to guarantee that he's going to be on the field making a damn tackle one time. That's all he needs to guarantee. Instead of trying to strip the ball out every freaking time, he just needs to make a damn tackle 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, scrape, field the hole, hit them hard, that kind of thing. But no. You'd rather run your mouth in the locker room after.
I mean, you're 4-7.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah. So.
Then you're 4-7 because the unit you're a part of is so bad.
I think the key factor in the game is going to be Justin Fields. Because they've been using him a little bit here and there, and I think he's going to get a little more playing time, and the Bengals aren't going to be smart enough to account for his running ability, and he torched us in Chicago as a rookie because Lou never wants to blitz rookies and stuff like that. So I think the Steelers are going to win, even though I think the Bengals. I think the Bengals. I hope the Bengals win. I want the Bengals to win, but I've seen this story before so many times that they just lay an egg to the Steelers, right? 2 years ago, opening game, 4 interceptions. Steelers were horrible, and it is what it is. And I think Steelers are going to win. I think they're going to win on Chris Boswell's leg. I'll say 24-21 because I don't think Zach's kicking a field goal. So I think it's going to go 24-21. It'll be one of those things. They go down, score in the fourth quarter, tie it up, and they're going to have 2 minutes left on the clock, and Pittsburgh's going to get down in field goal range and kick a 50-yarder to win the game. So there we go. That's enough of that. Let's move on to our trivia. I think we covered everything in the week that was. Move on to the trivia. Last week, Sam, you had the question, and I think we got it right, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
You want to go ahead and if you remember?
Oh, yeah, it was just a little MACtion trivia. It was who were the 5 original charter members of the MAC. I think it was, I don't have it pulled up. It was Ohio University, UC, Butler, Case Western, and Wright State maybe was the other one.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then the second part was who's joining the MAC next year, and that was UMass.
All right, Crowley, you have the trivia.
Yep. So I got a little college football trivia here.
Ooh.
Well, kind of college football trivia, but it's kind of college and NFL combined. So, question is, which college? Well, I'll say colleges because there's more than one. Which colleges have produced the most Super Bowl starting quarterbacks?
Hmm.
The most
And,
Super Bowl.
I'll at least help you with this. There are 4 colleges that are tied.
4
Is
colleges
it-
that are tied.
Appearances or just quarterbacks? Like individual quarterbacks or
Yeah,
No.
an individual quarterback starting a Super Bowl
okay.
Starting the Super
number
Bowl.
of times.
Because
Well,
like
no.
Brady
Total,
had like 10, you know.
like if 20, if you had 20 quarterbacks from Cincinnati who's that started in a Super Bowl, that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
that they started 25 Super Bowls.
I'm gonna
Gotcha.
say.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
Let's see, because Notre
so
Dame.
there are some of these quarterbacks that have started more than one Super Bowl.
Right, like Notre
Gotcha.
Dame, because you had Theismann and Montana.
I mean, that's only 2.
Yeah. Because I could think of, like Alabama had
His Namath.
3, Namath, Starr, and Hertz.
Yeah.
BYU had 2, McMahon and.
What about
CG.
USC? No.
USC had. Did they have any?
I don't know that they've even had any.
Plunkett.
Everybody recently.
Stanford had 2 because they had Plunkett and Elway. Luck never made it to the Super Bowl.
You said there's 4 that are tied for first?
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be at least, so it's either 3 or more. Because Bama has 3.
Let's say Bama and see if that Bama one of them.
Bama is 1, yes.
Okay.
So we know it's 3.
So it's 3.
All right.
Where did Trent Dilfer come from?
No, who knows? Fresno State. Came from Fresno State.
Yeah,
So. What about like Navy? Did they have anybody besides Staubach? No.
No. So Purdue had Lynn Dawson, Drew Brees, and was there anybody else?
Didn't Greasy go to Purdue?
Yeah.
So yeah, Purdue.
Purdue is one of them. I'm surprised you didn't start with that one.
I was getting there.
Getting there. You should have started with that one.
Recently, I was on the recent train, and
well, Alabama hasn't been recent.
Let's see. Aikman went to UCLA. Did they have anybody else? Trying to think of guys, that were like powerhouses.
Right.
Made a bunch of starts. Where did Jim Kelly?
What about Miami? I was going to say Miami, the U.
Miami, yeah.
But I think he might have been the only one because.
Did Testaverde ever make one? No.
So.
Kozar? I don't think so.
Gino Toretta? No.
No.
Ohio State? Did Ohio State have any?
Ohio State barely has any quarterbacks that even made the NFL.
Right. Louisville. Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
Lamar's never made a Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't. I was thinking he did.
No.
That's right. He was MVP. I was thinking MVP. So we got Purdue and Alabama.
See, LSU. Burrow. I think, I don't know. Burrow's the only one that I can think of.
Texas Tech only has
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Let's see. What about Tennessee? I mean, Peyton Manning. they've had anybody else. I don't think had anybody else.
How about Bradshaw went to Lafayette, Louisiana.
Yeah, there's no way. No way 2 other guys are coming out of there.
Roethlisberger went to Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, where did Goff go?
Cal, Goff,
So,
Rogers, one more.
I don't know of any other Cal quarterbacks, but say Cal just because we got 2 there.
Who were you saying from Cal?
Cal, Rogers, and Goff.
Oh, you know what?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Do we not tally?
Yeah.
Did we stump the host?
You didn't stump the host. You might have stumped where I got this information from, though.
Uh-oh.
Because it's not recent enough. Now that I think about it. Now that I'm looking at it. I was waiting for you to get the Cal. Cal is one of them.
Okay.
But Cal actually might have the most.
Oh.
They actually might have 4.
Who's the other one then?
Joe Cap, Craig Morton.
Oh.
So
also went to Cal.
Cal's just straight up the answer now.
Right.
Yeah, I think it might be.
4.
Yeah.
So
they don't have Jared Goff on here.
Yeah.
Right, from the Rams. So
yeah, when he started for the Rams. And they do not have Jalen Hurts because he did not graduate from, or he did not finish at Alabama. He's not considered Alabama.
No, that's right. He's Oklahoma.
Gotcha. Well, what about Oklahoma then?
But who are the 3 from Alabama then? If it wasn't Hurts,
it is
Namath,
Stabler, Namath, and Starr.
Stabler.
Yeah. The snake.
Yeah. Well, what about Oklahoma then? Would Oklahoma have?
They're not according to this, but again, this is maybe not the best.
Well, Sam
the best thing.
Bradford, no. Mayfield, no. Murray, no. Yeah. I mean, those are recent. What about?
You've named like I was saying, there was 4. You've named the 4th one. You just didn't come up with. You just thought they only have 2. They actually have 3. Somebody you said.
So what? So Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is the other one. Daryl LaMonica.
Okay.
Early LaMonica.
Yeah. Wow. So it was Notre Dame, Purdue, Alabama.
What team did he start for?
Super Bowl 2 for the Raiders.
Oh.
So it was Notre Dame, Alabama, Cal, and who am I not saying? I'm looking at it. Purdue. But now with Cal, with Jared Goff, they might be the sole winner of this.
Cal would be the sole winner.
They have 4. They were trying to make a point that, and where I got this from, that but then you'd have to include Jalen Hurts because California actually is a 5th guy. Vince Ferragamo started at Cal, but he went to Nebraska, so he didn't finish at Cal. But if you included transfers, he actually be the 5th guy that was a Cal starting quarterback that has started in a Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah. So
maybe we need to draft some quarterbacks from Cal.
I was very surprised by that, and I wasn't thinking about how Purdue is all their
quarterback
starting quarterbacks.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on. So there we go. So we're gonna go into our topic of the week, and since it is Thanksgiving week, we are grateful that you guys have followed and been listening to us. And once again, you can find us on any podcasting platform. Take us on the road with you. But if you prefer to watch us, we are live on Sunday evenings, 7 p.m. on YouTube. Just look for Cincy Sports Scene, and you should be able to click on that live button and find us. But we also post it there. You can watch it during the week as well. So with this being Thanksgiving week, we thought we'd have a little fun and come up with the biggest turkeys in Cincinnati sports history. And a turkey can be either a player, person, or a moment, right? And so what we're going to do, we're just going to go around the room, around the show here and just rattle off a couple, and then we're going to rank them. We'll try to get 10, and we'll try to rank the number one turkey. We'll try to come up with a consensus here. And if you have one that we didn't think of, go ahead and just put it in direct message on the comments here on YouTube, or you can always direct message us on X at Cincy Sports Scene and or Instagram at the same place. So let's see what you guys have. Give me two, Crawley. Let's just start with two at a time. We'll just go around. We'll go Crawley, then you, Sam, and then I'll go two. And I mean, we might have some in common, and if we do, we can put those on the list as well. So
okay, I'll do an obvious and then a not as obvious one.
Okay.
Obvious, Mike Brown. He's my turkey of the. He's my number one pick, by the way, for the biggest turkey of Cincinnati sports. So, I mean, when you're the 338th richest guy in America, you should have a better football team. Sorry, end of story. And I'll pick one, and I've alluded to this one already a couple of times in this podcast, just because of what our conversation's been about. I also put Reds fans who like Cincy players and hustle players more than they like good players. So I think they're a bunch of turkeys. I would choose a good player over a hustle player or a Cincinnati-born player any day of the week. Give me Ellie over Ron Oster.
Well, I don't think there's too many people that. Well, there might be some West Siders.
Okay, give me Ellie over Ryan Friel.
Now you
better watch out. Whoa.
You better watch out. So,
slow down a little bit here. Ryan Friel played, good 6 years for us there. So
of average to below average baseball.
Hey, he had Web Gems one of the year 1 year at 4 different positions. So
Great.
Calm down.
Lovely.
All right,
Ellie hasn't done that. I don't think they do. Do they even do Web Gems anymore? Is Baseball Tonight still around?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think it's not. I don't think it is. I don't think ESPN really does any kind of baseball shows like that anymore.
No, I don't think it is.
They do it before the Sunday night game.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying Baseball Tonight was a nightly show.
It used to be. They used to have an hour at 10 and then another hour at midnight after the West Coast games.
Yeah, they got rid of all those baseball writers. Remember?
They're all on MLB Network. MLB Network has some shows, but
that's true.
So there's a couple turkeys for you.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I'll follow in your footsteps, and I'll go team just right down the street. I'll say Phil Castellini.
He's on my list.
And then
Bob says thank God for Phil every day.
Yes.
Yeah. And then as far as a moment goes, Jeremy Hill's fumble against the Steelers in, 2015 playoffs?
Yeah, I have that one.
All-time, moment there.
All right. Well, we're going to go. We'll do a player. We'll do a player. And this was in 89. We're going down to Miami.
I have this one too.
And our best kick returner decides to go get arrested for cocaine and prostitution and everything else, and doesn't make the game. So Stanley Wilson, baby.
Yep, I have him on there.
You are on the list. Congratulations. And then I'm going to go a moment, and it's actually probably one of the greatest moments in Cincinnati history, but it's also a direct turkey moment because of the fans. And we're going to go to 89 again. And I think it was 89 or 80, 88, somewhere around there. And playing Cleveland. I don't think we were playing Cleveland, but we were playing somebody. And fans were throwing stuff on the field. Sam White gets on the microphone, and he, the big line, "You don't live in Cleveland." So the fans throwing stuff on the field are turkeys. They don't get their way. All right. Give me a couple more, Crawley.
Okay. I had the Stanley Wilson one as well. I had the Phil Castellini one. So we're gonna go Bengals quarterbacks of the 1990s. All of them. All of them are turkeys.
Well,
The only one who's not, I mean, Boomer Esiason did get some starts in the early 90s, and Jeff Blake had his moment of fame in the later 90s. But outside of that, you had, drum roll please, Achilles Smith, David Klingler, Jay Schrader, Neil O'Donnell, Paul Justin, if anybody can remember Paul Justin, and then Scott Mitchell to finish it up. So
Mitchell,
there's my
against the wall.
I'm going with the Bengals quarterbacks of the 90s.
That's kind
and
of
then my other one.
I was going to say that's kind of funny because I have the entire 90s Bengals team.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That's what I had.
Yeah, I just singled out the quarterbacks.
I had the entire Bengals 90 team.
Yeah.
All right,
and then
what else?
And then I also had just before, and I don't even know if it really happened. This could be a completely made up story, but it's if you say this guy's name to any longer term Cincinnati fan, they know the first thing they will say is not what he did on the court, but this moment in time. Art Long, that he punched a horse, that he punched a cop's horse down at Fountain Square because he was drunk or something. So no one remembers Art Long was actually a pretty decent player. For UC for a couple years, but all they remember is that he punched a freaking policeman's horse.
He's in prison now again. So
guess he did something worse than punching a horse.
Yeah, he did. So I have Art Long as well on there, the horse puncher. All right, son.
I not have Art Long, but I have someone played here collegiately just for a year. Probably more known for being a turkey professionally, and that's Lance Stevenson.
Oh yeah.
The LeBron whisperer. got him. And then I've also got, you saying the fans actually reminded me of this guy back when Brett Favre came to town, the guy that ran on the field, took the ball from him in the middle of the play. Whatever that guy's name is.
Well, you could throw him in. I didn't put him on the list, but now you said that we can put anybody on, several of those guys that ran on the field. The guy just recently on the Reds game that did the backflip right in front of the cop and it got tased. Yeah. I'd put those two together.
Well, the guy 7 or 8 years ago that actually got away, ran on the Reds field, jumped the fence, and got away.
That's right. So, where's Morgana at? That's what we need. We need a Morgana.
She never ran onto the riverfront though, did she?
No, she never did.
Yeah,
but
it's always somewhere else.
She always for big games, big moments. You knew the Kissing Bandit was coming out somewhere.
Yep.
So yeah, nice. All right, so let's see. My turkeys. I'm gonna go the Davids. So David Bell and David Shula. They're guiding this. Our teams. They just were big turkeys because Shula for obvious reasons. And Bell, well, for obvious reasons as well. But, so those two were the turkeys. So the two Davids. And then a moment, I'm going to go with the 2010 National League Division Series where the Reds got no hit versus Roy Halladay. So the two Davids in that. And David Bell was part of that. So, no, he wasn't.
No, I was going to say no.
Yeah, no.
Unless he was playing for the Phillies.
Yeah, he might have been playing for the Phillies, I think.
But he was part of getting shut out by Atlanta.
I think he did play for the Phillies at some point.
He did. I thought it was earlier 2000s, so I don't think he was still around then.
Yeah, he probably wasn't. All right, Carly, let's go 2 more, and let's see if we can rank them. Unless you got any more that, or actually,
I just have 2 more.
You just have 2 more
put on my list. Yeah.
All right.
I have Marge Schott and Shotzi. I can't forget Shotzi. 1, 2, and 3, and whatever number of Shotsies there were. I mean, just got the dog going and pooping on the stadium on the turf, and and Marge just go clean it up. Eric Davis or whatever, and all the crazy stuff she said. And she does have a championship as an owner, so I I would not her rank number one for sure. But if you just take her, if you take her whole game, she's definitely up there. And then my last one, I put Tommy Tuberville.
Oh,
So,
I forgot about Tommy.
Forgot about him. Yeah.
Not only was a horrible coach and was just in it because he, for some money and did not care about Cincinnati whatsoever, but his last shining moment is he's walking off the field in none of his last game or last home game, and the fans are cussing him out and yelling at him as they rightfully should have, and he just yelled at him, "Go get a job, you losers!" And then he walked off. so,
Nice.
so yeah, so there
He
you
is
go.
I don't know if he won re-election or not, but
He did, unfortunately. But yes.
all from Auburn. His time at Auburn. All right, Sam. How many more do you have?
I just have one more.
Okay.
And it's Vontez Perfect. I think that's just enough said.
Yep.
Yeah, I want Vontez back to take some heads off.
Well, yeah, I'd take him back right now. I mean, shit, he might be slower than Pratt at this point, but
yeah, I had Perfect as well.
I bet you'd hit harder than Pratt even now.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. Let's see here. So I had a couple that you guys didn't have, so I'll just read them off real quick. I did have Tez Perfect. I had Pac-Man Jones to go with the trio of Jeremy Hill, Perfect, and Jones. Those were the three main culprits on that game. I had Odell Thurman.
Put all of them together.
Odell was one heck of a football player, but he was a big turkey, man. Corey Patterson was another turkey that seemed who could not get out of the leadoff spot no matter how hard he tried to get out.
Well, he had those. He had those photographs.
Well, he probably did. Yes.
Yeah.
And then I had the 82 in the 2022 100 game losing season for the Reds.
I just thought of another one.
Okay.
Throw him out there. Adam Rosales. You guys remember that guy?
Yeah.
Well, he would go under my turkeys. The Reds fans loved him. He did. He wasn't anyone that ran down to first after he walked. Yeah, exactly. That's all. That was the high point of the whole freaking season was Adam Rosales because he ran down to first, and he got on first once every 25 at bats, but at least he ran down to first.
Yeah. Oh. Sam left us.
Sam was pissed about it. Remember, he loved Adam Rosales too, and he's got pissed.
Well, he's the one who brought it up. He's going to hop on here in just a second, I guarantee you. All right, now we got to rank them.
Yeah.
I don't
know if we can do 10. That's going to take a while.
Yeah,
let's go top 5 or something.
Top 5. Where's he at? Come on, son. I accept. Are you there? It says. Huh. I'm going to let in. Come on. It's not letting you. Where's it? Come on. No. Riverside. You're starting to irritate me. I hit let in and it's not letting him in. And actually kicked him out.
I don't know.
Okay, he's going to come back in. There he is. Wouldn't let you in.
I don't know what happened. It kicked me out and then it wouldn't let me back in.
Yeah, I mean, I was hitting let you in, and then it just wouldn't let you in. So Crowley and I decided we're just going to go, since we are running a little long-winded here. We're about an hour and 9 minutes in. We're just going to go rank our top 5.
All right.
So,
starting at 5.
We'll start at 5. What do you guys think? I mean, we had some that were on. Was there anybody that had on everybody's list?
I assume Mike Brown.
Yeah, Mike Brown was. I mean,
Mike and Phil.
Okay, yeah.
So those two guys are.
We know where they're going. Yeah.
Right. So, what else?
I mean, I kind of like the trio, the Hill, Perfect.
The trio.
Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Pac-Man?
Yeah.
Okay, so that'd be 5, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so the
5.
trio of Hill, Perfect, and Pac-Man Jones, and we'll throw Joey Porter in there as well.
He's the best supporting actor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
Exactly.
So, all right, so that's number 5. Number 4, then.
I think the Bengals of the 90s.
Bengals of the 90s, number
Yeah.
4. Okay.
Quarterbacks, I mean, yeah, you could put them all in there, but,
Yep.
I do like Bengals of the 90s in some
Yeah.
fashion.
All right,
The
the
lost
Bengals of the
decade.
90s.
As Paul
Lost
Doherty always
decade.
called it, the lost decade.
That's right. All right, so number 3.
I like Crawley's, fans that like the Cincinnati players. I think that's a pretty good one.
That is a good one. But I don't know. I mean, Art Long punching a horse. I mean, that's
You think Art Long's worse than Stanley Wilson?
ah,
I mean, that's a Super Bowl. Stanley
that
Wilson
is
was
a
a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, but Stanley Wilson would be. Well, no, I was gonna say the 90s, but no, he was right there. He didn't make it to the 90s.
Right? Yeah, he wasn't. He was like the prelude to the.
He was the pinnacle.
Yeah.
And going down the apex, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it comes down to Stanley Wilson versus the Reds fans.
Stanley Wilson versus the Reds fans. Do we have a tie? I mean,
yeah, sure. Tied for third.
it's tied for third.
There we go.
There
We're
we
making
go.
the rolls. I think we can have whatever we want. So.
That's right. And number 2, Turkey.
I think 2 is Phil.
Yeah.
2 has to be Phil.
2 is Phil.
Where are you gonna go, Phil, for Thanksgiving dinner?
That's right. Yeah.
Sure,
he'll have a nice one.
Yes, he probably will. And I don't think it's a surprise.
Right.
If you've listened to this podcast, but
Or have you just been live and breathing as a
yeah,
Cincinnati
that's
sports
right.
fan?
That's right, because he not only does he take the list, but number 5 and number 3 are all related to him in some way or fashion. So, Mike Brown, congratulations on being the biggest turkey in Cincinnati sports history. There you have it.
First trophy he's gotten.
First trophy, yes.
He's got an AFC championship trophy.
Yay.
He does.
Yeah.
A couple
People put that up, Bradley.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Yeah.
But,
First thing you see in his office.
and he eats the mock turtle soup. So, that's, the best moment, was a TV show, right? As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. Les Nessman and the crew, WKRP in Cincinnati. If you haven't seen that episode, do yourself a favor. Watch it. It's great. So until next Sunday, from our family to yours, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving. And hopefully, you get stuffed like a bird. So enjoy it. We'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.
See you later.